Good afternoon. February the 5th, one of those days that will go down in infamy if you were long the stock market, right? Hypothetical or simulated performance results have certain limitations. Unlike actual performance records, simulated results do not represent actual trading. Also, since the trades have not been executed, the results may have overcompensated for the impact of any of certain market factors, such as lack of liquidity. Simulated trading programs in general are also subject to the fact that they're designed with the benefit of hindsight. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profit or losses similar to those shown. Okay, I want to just, and you need to print these. This was the overnight low. We held right here. We got short covering. We guessed that it might get up to 61 to 71. And that was our 30 to 40 point tendency on short covering rallies. These trades work, that trade work. We got stops beneath the lows, which is expected. They run it back up. Now they make a new low here, and when we come back, this is what I want you to print. This high, this low, that low, that low. This is what our reverse RTF. What was support is now resistance. And when that holds right there and we start back down, that trade has big potential because of the range, because of the context of the market, because everything is just kind of coming together in one perfect storm against those that are long right here. This type of situation, I mean, I don't know where the magic is at 37.25. We'll take a look at it. But when they start to cover their shorts, anytime you take out a fat bars high right here, that's as long as you should be short. And you see right here, you'd be about 30 points off the low. So we got back up to 26.90. The low is, what, 37? So we got about 55, 60 points right here in this short covering rally. 30 to 40 is expected on short covering rallies. 70 over 1.5 days, sometimes 135 points when we have volatility. And we have volatility right now, so 135 points would take us back up to our 2760 area, right up in here. So we've identified those points moving forward. We had talked about this high volume area at 80, and I'm not going to have control over my charts. It's just fast markets, so forget that idea. And I'm not going to have control over this. So the 27, let's go back and see what we can do right here. Got a pretty clean break here at 27.03. So here we are at 77. So we'll make sell one 89 to 91 for what that's worth for tomorrow, and then 99 to 01 for sell two. Obviously, we probably need that. If the market were to close right here, we'd be trying to buy at 65 or better. I think we're going to have to wait for the Globex. So right now we put a buy at 48 to 50 for buy one, and then 38 to 40 for buy two. I think you can be a little bit more aggressive on the sell side, but just tomorrow morning we'll pick it up and revise those points. Dime increments seems to work out pretty good, this contract. But I lived through this in 87. It was the best couple of weeks of trading I've ever had up until that particular point in time. Came up quite a bit here on the breakdown in the stock market, so the inverse relationship kicked in with the meltdown in stocks. probably be selling 21.19s to 23s. Yeah, so we'll make sell 1 19 to 23. The idea that and then 27 to 31. And again, tomorrow morning we'll have to adjust this. We'll see where Globex is. Usually after we've had a day like this, we're going to get a pause day. On the buy side, we've got volume at 16. We've got a lot of volatility, so we'll make 9 to 13 buy 1 and 1 to 5 buy 2. We'll open it up to the downside. It can be a little tighter on the sell side just because it's come so far so fast. And if the Emini is still selling, we don't want any part of the short side of the market. Tomorrow's news, trade balance, and jolts. And Globex will give us a much better idea tomorrow. Looking at the 30-year. Okay, here's the break. Got 46.20. So we'll make 46.20 to 24. So selling 27s to 31s. And 3s to 7. And on the buy side, looks like 46.08 might be it. And we're last at 14. So we'll make 1 to 5 buy 1, 21 to 25 buy 2. You work with what you got. Looking at gold. Gold hasn't had much of a reaction to this, and you'd think it would have more flight to quality. So I think the auction might be more in play. So we had basically 40 to 45 this morning as a sell zone, and gold's actually been pretty quiet. So 44 to 46 was our second sell zone this morning, sell 1. 49.51, sell 2. On the buy side, we have an M period low at 36. Got the mode at 37, so we'll make 38 to 40 buy 1. We'll come in right above that mode. And then 34 to 36 where we were this morning for buy 2. Chuck, I have no control over my charts. I mean, I can't write them down, so yeah, there are no highlights where I have no way to write them in. Scales off. Got no control of the charts because it's a fast market. So like I said, we'll pick them up in the morning. Apologize for that. Limping along. Crude oil, have the APIs tonight. It got hit pretty hard earlier. So 63.70, probably the cleanest break in this market here is 62.50. We have had a buyer below 64, trying to trade lower. This summer, sunny crude oil in the broad markets were lockstep, then they fell apart here in the late fall. That might be having some impact. And one of the things when we get a big crash in a particular futures contract, a popular one, can't do it on that screen either, so we're going to go to the F4. Where was my thought? We have, oh well, it'll come back to me. Okay, on crude oil. Crude and the stock markets were lockstep with each other. So if we have a huge crash in a very popular commodity, a lot of times you'll see long liquidation in other contracts to make margin calls, and that could be a factor here. Well, here we are at 86. Got a pretty clean break in the market at 20. We saw that when we were trying to, when we made our nickel or dime in here. So 64, 64.25, sell 1. The other break in the market's up there at 50 to 75. So 50 to 75, sell 2. On the buy side, 63.50. Looks like it maybe stops beneath that. So 63 1/4, 63.50. We'll try for it. It might be 75. I'll put a question mark there. And then 62.75. 63 even for number 2. Okay, one of the things that I used to see when we had huge volatility back in the 80s and 90s is that I would have customers that would be on the wrong side of the market that would not take. They had plenty of money and they could cover the losses, but they would not. They had never thought about what happens if this thing blows up in my face, and they wouldn't take their losses. They wouldn't get out of the trades quickly, and they went from having a manageable loss, no fun at all, to having a catastrophic loss, and we do that. So the nature of the beast is you just can't trade that way anymore. Okay, lower high, lower low on F1 for the euro. Draghi did not help that market much today. Looks like there might be a seller at 50 to 60. And we had a buyer at 25, so we'll make a buy at 25, buy 1. Give or take 124 even by 2. Sell 1, 50 to 60. And then 75 for sell 2. And 24, 50 to 60. So in the morning, I'm sure things will settle down overnight. We'll come in and we'll take a look at it, and we'll see. I would anticipate a pause day tomorrow. It usually happens. People are wiped out, margin calls, refunding accounts, liquidating assets to do that. Had their head handed to them. Not interested in trading, so we'll look for a pause day tomorrow. And let me stop this. We'll make our adjustments for Globex for all of us.